Hi everyone, welcome back to another video of structure and written expression. It's me, Julie, and in this time, I'm going to talk about parallel structure, which is very common to find in TOEFL test. Let's get started, yeah? As its name suggests, in a sentence, the structure must be parallel, meaning parts of a sentence must have a parallel structure or the same structure. In this video, I'm going to show you 4 things that you should be aware of when dealing with parallel structure in a sentence. The first is be aware of coordinate conjunctions. Here is the clue. So be aware of this and that or. If you see one of them in a sentence, then you should be aware that the part of the sentence before the conjunction must be parallel to the part of the sentence after it. For example, there are papers to file, reports to type, and letters to answer. We see the structure is parallel. We've got noun plus infinitive. Infinitive is to plus verb 1, okay? And then noun plus infinitive and noun plus infinitive. The simplest example that I can think of right now is I like singing, dancing, and to cook. Okay, the structure of the sentence is not parallel because they are singing, dancing, and to cook. The structure is supposed to be I like singing, dancing, and cooking. Or maybe I like to sing, to dance, and to cook. Okay, the second thing that you should be aware of is the use of paired conjunctions in a sentence. This conjunction must be paired to one another, although you may find that either and neither may stand alone. But if they are paired, they must be paired with this or and nor. Oh, let's see the example here. We may spend the weekend either visiting our grandparents or going to hike. Here we've got paired conjunctions, either and or, which is correct. And we've got parallel verbs as well, written in verb ing and verb ing. So the sentence is correct and parallel. The third thing that you should be aware of is parallel structure in comparisons. Everyone, here are expressions in comparisons, okay? The part of the sentence before the expression must be parallel to the part of the sentence after it. Oh, and yes, you should be familiar with these expressions. These are the examples. The first one, the time she needs to type is more than the time she needs to read. We see there is a comparative expression here, more than, and you may see that the structure before the expression is parallel or is the same as the structure after it. This one and this one. And the second example is, in my opinion, to sing is easier than to dance. This is the comparison expression, and the parts before and after it, infinitive, infinitive. Speaking of the comparisons, you have to make sure that in the sentence, the objects which are compared are parallel. For example, if before the comparison, the thing which is mentioned is the population of a town, then in the next part after the comparison, must discuss over the population of another town as well. So the objects which are compared are parallel, the population and the population. Okay, and then the last thing that you should be aware of regarding parallel structure is still about comparisons, but it is quite different. It is a sentence with double comparisons. So here is the structure. We use the comparative with er or with more. Same structure, and the structure must be the same as the structure in the next clause or in the next part. Let's see the examples to make sense of it, yeah? One more thing, we usually use the for superlative, right? For paling, like for the best, the most expensive. But there is an exception in double comparison. So let's get back to the example. The shorter the text is, comma, the easier it is. The sentence has parallel structure. So we've got the comparative, shorter. We've got subject, verb, comma, the comparative, easier, subject, verb. Let's take a look at the next example. The comparative, noun, comma, the comparative, noun. So the sentence is parallel. Everyone, in this kind of sentence, I mean with double comparison, it is possible to not have the verb. You see, there is no verb here. There's only the comparative noun, comma, the comparative noun. There is no verb. But if in the first clause you have a verb, then in the next clause you must have the verb too. That's how you make it parallel. Now it's time for practice. In this type of task, we have to determine which part is wrong. The answer is A. It's pretty easy because you see the conjunctions are not parallel. We know that both must be paired with and. Instead, here we have as well. So yeah, the answer is A. But I want to invite you to review the other options as well. Option B is correct because there is this modal, could, and it is followed by fix, which is a verb 1. It is correct, right? And option C, damage, there's nothing wrong with that. And D, dress, there's nothing wrong with that because we have an article here, the dress. Let's discuss the next one. The part which is wrong is C because it is not parallel. There's a sign of or, which is a coordinate conjunction. That means parts of the sentence must be parallel. Here we have verb, noun, verb, and verb, noun. All parts are parallel except this one. So this is the answer. Alright everybody, this is the end of this video. I have explained to you several things that you should be aware of when dealing with parallel structure. Actually, questions or sentences related to parallel structure are easier compared to the others. But one thing for sure, you have to be careful and pay attention to the structure of the sentence. That way, you can choose the right answer and boost your score. So yeah, I hope this video helps. I'll see you in the next one.